Welcome back everybody once again to today's episode of DIY Investing. One of my members inside of my Discord brought up a significant point about the Bitcoin dominance that I thought would be very informative to share with you guys. Bitcoin dominance is something that a lot of these retail investors getting into crypto don't necessarily understand, but if they did, they would have a significant advantage over the market. Bitcoin dominance is one of the most key factors towards alt season, as well as just understanding exactly how the markets might behave in a certain time frame. And so today I'm going to dive in, give you guys my analysis with the Bitcoin dominance, show you guys the market cap, as well as finish up with a little update on Bitcoin moving forward. With altcoins setting up across the board, Bitcoin continuing to paint higher highs throughout all of this recent FUD throughout the market, things are looking very exciting, and I'm super excited to show you this video with what I'm expecting with these altcoins and Bitcoin moving forward in the cycle. If you find this video helpful, do myself a favor and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates in the future. If you want to get access to more awesome analysis that I post along with some of my own members' analysis, click the invitation in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Thank you guys so much for the support. It really means a lot to me. And with all that being said, let's jump right into today's video. Welcome back everybody once again to today's video. Today we are going to be going over something that I found very important recently. I actually had one of my members go over and analyze the Bitcoin dominance chart, and he brought up a couple significant points that I wanted to talk about in today's video. But before we jump into the Bitcoin dominance, I wanted to give you guys a quick update with Bitcoin as well as the total market cap. So to start off this video, we're going to go ahead and look at Bitcoin. Now, not much has changed since my last update, so I don't need to go into a lot of detail with this. We're still approaching my first major resistance at about the 6130 mark. We almost hit that with the last impulse, but it looks as if we're getting more higher highs to come. So I would expect this to be a significant resistance zone. We could break up a little bit higher than that, but overall this is a very strong resistance as indicated by our previous support that held us for a solid few months back when we were support at 6K. So this is going to be what I'm going to be watching out for in this time. Once we do hit this resistance area, I would expect us to get a short-term retrace before we go into the final 5. Now where that final retrace is going to take us, my target would be about the 5650 area. I think that that's a pretty strong support that we would hold in the wake of a retrace after this three wave. So that's just kind of what I'm watching out for. Overall, not much has really changed. There has been a significant amount of FUD throughout the markets with the Binance hack. You had the Tether FUD that came in back over here. But the thing about Bitcoin is it's just continuing to prove everybody wrong. It's continuing to go up and paint higher highs in the process, which overall is a significant bullish sign moving forward. Because if you guys remember, taking a look back at some of the older cycles that we had earlier in the bear market, every time we'd hit resistance and go lower, at resistance there would be massive amounts of FUD that would come out that would drop prices lower. And this happened virtually every single area that we hit major resistance. There'd be some sort of FUD that would come out. And it would knock the prices lower in the cycle. Now, one thing that I'm wanting to point out to you guys that is happening is the fact that in the wake of all of this FUD that we're seeing, Bitcoin continues to go up. And so if that isn't a sure enough case that we have entered a bull market, I don't know what is going to kind of explain to you that I personally believe that we are very much bullish in this case. Anytime you see massive amounts of FUD coming into the market to scare everybody out, yet prices are continuously going higher, I think that that's a very clear indication, at least in my opinion, that we are entered into a new paradigm with the market itself and sentiment has shifted. So this is kind of what I'm watching with Bitcoin. Very exciting things going on. Like I said, heading for my resistance level. I'll keep you guys updated inside of my Discord server. If you haven't, please click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Currently almost 90 members, so it's growing very quickly, and there's lots of people posting some solid analysis in there. It's growing very quickly, and I'm super excited to have more people join. So if you want to see more updates with all of my analysis and my videos, click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to find my Discord server. Anyways, guys, let's jump into the next part of this video, which is going to be the total market cap. Alright guys, here we are looking at this chart. Now, not much, once again, has changed since my last update. Overall, we're pretty much still just trying to break out of this previous consolidation that we had. This looks to me like a bull flag or something close to it. Let me get this a little closer. This to me looks like a simple bull flag consolidation pattern. And now we've actually breached the resistance, and now prices are kind of working on the retest of that before we go higher. Overall, it looks like we could start seeing some very strong impulse going up out of this very soon. But overall, it's basically the same as the last update. You have the 1, you have the 3, and now we're working on the 5 wave. How high this 5 wave is going to go, it's really going to have to be decided upon Bitcoin. Remember, the Bitcoin is the driver of this force. This chart follows almost the same consolidation as Bitcoin for a reason, and that's because it holds the majority of the market cap and dominance. So with that being said, this is kind of what I'm watching out for Bitcoin. I would imagine that we would hit this resistance level at about the let's see here, $220 billion range. I think that that's a good estimate for what we could see. We could see higher, even up into about the $250 billion range, is right around there. But this is kind of what I'm watching out for with the total market cap as is. Overall, there's still very bullish signs coming in. A breakout of a bull flag shows bullish continuation to come, along with such great inclining volume. All of this is very good signs moving forward with Bitcoin. Now we're actually going to jump into the main point of this video, something that I feel like doesn't really get talked about enough, but is one of the most important aspects to altcoins as well as Bitcoin moving forward. So let's jump right into the Bitcoin dominance. Alright guys, so this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. For you guys that do not know what that means, it's basically just takes the overall market share of Bitcoin compared to the alts. So right now we're sitting at about a 60% dominance for Bitcoin, meaning that Bitcoin owns about 60% of the total market cap. Now, if you go on Coin Market Cap, I think it'll be a little different. I think it's only listed at just about 58%, but it's still reasonably close to what is being told. But anyways, guys, I had a member in my Discord, shout out to Bolioni. He brought up this very awesome pattern, and he brought up a very key point moving forward, and so I thought that it'd be a good idea for me to cover it in this video and kind of talk about my thoughts with what he said. Now, what he said was that this consolidation that we're seeing here is an inverse head and shoulder, which target would send Bitcoin up to about an 84% Bitcoin dominance. Now, this was something that in his chart, I thought that this was very possible, but now that I'm actually looking over it, I actually find that this isn't as likely. Kind of what he had drawn was this was the left shoulder, this was the head, and then we were in the right shoulder right now with this inclining volume. Now, this doesn't necessarily follow a very clean inverse head and shoulder pattern, I should say. Now, for you guys that do not know what an inverse head and shoulder pattern is, it is a reversal pattern where you have a left shoulder, a head that peaks the lowest, and then the right shoulder. In the right shoulder, you want to see inclining volume for the breakout, and that's actually what we're seeing. So as far as the volume goes, it plays out to this pattern very accordingly. The only real downside that I have to this comparison is the fact that this left shoulder is significantly lower than the right. And so the symmetry behind this pattern really isn't that close to being what you would expect to find with an inverse head and shoulder. And so I'm not really going to be watching that necessarily. I don't think that that's really the likelihood scenario that we're going to see. If that was, and who knows, maybe we still get a break, because if that is the case, we need to clear this neckline resistance at about 66% Bitcoin dominance. If we could clear that, then my next target would be 84%, and then you could say that that is a valid inverse head and shoulder. And so it's just something that we're going to have to watch. Overall, I find it less likely that we're going to be able to actually clear out of this resistance. In fact, I find it more likely we get rejected for a couple reasons. And I'm actually going to go through here and label my Elliott wave count for you guys. Now, one thing to note with the Bitcoin dominance is the fact that everybody's shooting for alt season. Everybody wants these altcoins to go up so that they can make a significant return on their investment, so that they can grow their Bitcoin stack. All of these great things that come with altcoin trading. Now, one thing to note that a lot of people don't understand is the fact, when exactly does alt season happen in comparison to the Bitcoin dominance? Now, one thing to note with Bitcoin dominance is, from what I've seen, and I've been around for about 3.5 years, we don't have regular alt season unless Bitcoin dominance is sitting at about a 50% BTC share, meaning Bitcoin has at least 50% of that dominance. Oftentimes it's higher than that. But we need to see that sort of a number. Otherwise, these altcoins are going to be suppressed by Bitcoin, and we're not going to really be able to have a rally where alts take any of that value from Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to be the real driver, and so if the majority of the share is inside of Bitcoin, that leaves a lot of room for altcoins to kind of take from and continue on in their cycles. But if Bitcoin dominance is low, the altcoins are taking a lot of that value, then you're not going to have a likely scenario where the alts are going to continue up. And so this is a pattern that I've been watching out for. We've had 50% Bitcoin dominance for a significant time now. The only thing is we really just haven't experienced alt season. Now the Bitcoin dominance is continuing to climb. Many of you guys will understand the Bitcoin dominance a little bit better if you trade Bitcoin pairs. And that's because when you're trading a Bitcoin pair that's an altcoin, you have to really be paying attention to the Bitcoin dominance because that's really the driver of all of your value. Like if you're going to actually make money trading altcoins against the Bitcoin pair, you got to be paying attention to this Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin dominance is too low, you're not going to really be seeing any significant rallies. And so with Bitcoin dominance currently sitting at just under 60%, we do need this number to come down for a true, genuine alt season. But with Bitcoin dominance heading straight for a major resistance, I do expect that to come very soon. So with all of that being said, let's actually go through here and label my Elliott wave count for you guys so you guys can understand exactly kind of where we're at in the cycle of things. Now, we topped out, had our first major lower high at the 96%, and we dropped to about the 83%. And this created our one wave in the cycle. Next, sell-off was from 90% all the way down to 41%. If you guys remember this was back in 2017 when altcoins just went absolutely crazy. This was the big three wave. This is where people made significant returns on their investments. And I was actually a part of this, and I saw so many people change their lives in this time span because, you know, you buy all of these altcoins that were just practically worthless. They pull 30, 50, 100x returns, and you know, $100 becomes 10 grand and 1,000 becomes 100. So it's just a really crazy time to be a part of crypto. But I remember this time very well, and this was the big drop that we saw in Bitcoin's dominance, and that was the three wave. And then what happened after that? We had another drop from about 66% and finished at about 36%. And this finished our first Elliott wave 135 impulse down. Now, what has happened out of this is we're getting a strong ABC retrace. Now, what does that mean? Now, an ABC retrace is just the correction move that happens. It's the most common Elliott wave correction that you'll experience, and it's one that we're actually having right now. And so with the ABC correction, you have 5 waves up out of the in the C leg, and so that's kind of what we're seeing here. We're seeing a 1, we're seeing a 3, and now we're having the final 5 wave impulse up, and then this will complete our C leg in the retrace. Now once this is met, I do expect us to sell off significantly and either continue down in this downtrend, but we're just going to have to kind of watch and see, because there's one thing to note. Even with this, the major resistance level that I'm watching is going to be the 66% Bitcoin dominance rating. Now with that, this is going to be the major resistance that I'm watching for. I don't think that we're going to be able to clear that. If we clear that, I'll definitely have to revise my analysis. But overall, with altcoins setting up, I see these cycles, and I've been able to trade these cycles over the, like I said, the course of 3.5 years. And anytime I've seen these cycles set up as far as the Bitcoin pairs go, we usually always have alt season, or at least up to this point, we've always had alt season. And so I'm really just not really, or at this point, I'm not necessarily thinking that that pattern is just going to stop. I do see us heading for major resistance, and I don't necessarily see us kind of just stopping all of these cycles, especially when Bitcoin's heading for resistance. Once we hit this resistance, I do expect us to have a retrace. Once that retrace ensues, that's when we're going to start to see a lot of value flooding into these altcoin markets, both for the dollar pair and the Bitcoin pair. So just stay observant. I personally like to trade dollar pairs specifically for the reason that there's just cleaner TA on my part. It's easier for me to do Elliott wave analysis on. Bitcoin charts can be very volatile, and so for Bitcoin pairs, I like to stick to some of the older ones that paint continuous market cycles that usually follow the same pattern, or I like to just kind of check back with that along with the Bitcoin dominance, because they're two very good indicators to use. But anyways, guys, this ABC retrace will complete at about the 66% Bitcoin dominance, somewhere close to that. And now once that happens, I do expect us to retrace further and then have a lot of value flooding into these altcoins. What exactly happens after we get that major retrace? It's going to be kind of hard to see, and we're just going to have to watch. Basically what's happening is we're heading straight for this descending resistance, and that'll complete at this 5 wave at the end of the ABC retrace. Now once we start falling, where exactly are we going to drop to? It's hard to say. How much value is really going to get sucked out of Bitcoin and be put into these altcoins again? How much of that dominance is going to get diversified into the market? Now with Bitcoin continuing on in its cycle, I would expect that it's probably a significant amount of that value gets sucked out of Bitcoin, because I'm not one of that believes that all of these cryptocurrencies are going to be dead in the future. I believe that there will be a significant amount that will fall off, but for the most part, I think it's kind of idiotic to say that Bitcoin's going to be the only cryptocurrency, because a lot of these cryptocurrencies, even though they're not like a electronic cash system or kind of what Bitcoin is classified as, a lot of them hold a significant use case in the future of things, and so I don't necessarily think that they're all just going to die out. I do believe that a lot of these are going to take from Bitcoin's market cap, and it's just going to get diversified into some of the better proven coins, such as maybe Ethereum, and some of these other ones that have been around for a little while. But we're just going to have to watch and see. Overall, we are heading for a major resistance, both horizontally and diagonally, that intersect at basically the same spot. Also coming at the terminal end of an ABC retrace after 5 impulse waves down. Massive volume, that's always a key indication that we're experiencing euphoria. And so for me personally, I'm not necessarily going to be expecting us to break any higher out of this. I would expect this downtrend to continue. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we get a short-term retest, or maybe we just completely break out of this resistance entirely, and then I have to rethink my strategy. But based off of the probabilities and based off the current setup, it's looking less likely that we're going to break out of this, considering the fact we already have so many waves coming out of this cycle. So we're just going to have to watch and see. Overall, with that being said, I do expect us to see a significant return on investment with some of these altcoins. I do believe that these altcoins are going to set up in the short term with Bitcoin retracing after resistance is met. Where exactly we're going to fall after that retrace, we're just going to have to watch and see. It depends what this next cycle is going to bring to us, because something to note, guys, is even though this looks to be a pretty bearish setup, Bitcoin could prove everybody wrong. Remember, guys, markets can surprise and they will surprise, and that's something we have to watch out for. This could very easily continue up, and we could see Bitcoin rally to maybe like 100K, and the Bitcoin dominance just skyrocket in that time, and then we could see a lot of these altcoins that don't really have a real use case, don't really have real mainstream adoption, start to die off, and that's when we see a real flippening happening in the market. But like I said, we just have to watch and monitor. It doesn't necessarily matter at this point because that's so far down the road. This is why it's always really important to keep a significant portion of your holdings in Bitcoin at all times. Keep a long-term portfolio just to hold on to, because you really have no idea what's going to happen. A lot of people are so invested into these altcoins, and those are the same people that are going to get wrecked significantly in this upcoming cycle. Maybe it's at the top of the next cycle, maybe it's in the middle, or maybe it's in the start. We're just going to have to watch and see. But the best thing that you can do for yourself is place yourself at the most strategic position to maximize the biggest return possible. Now, even though you can get a significant return with altcoins, remember to keep it safe. Even though altcoins will give you a significant return, it's impossible to know exactly how the market's going to react with Bitcoin in its next cycle. We could see things go extremely parabolic, where Bitcoin goes up pretty much the whole way, where altcoins are suppressed the majority of the rally. And if you're not holding a significant portion in Bitcoin, you're going to miss out on its entire rally up. Even though the percent return isn't going to be as big as some of these altcoins will get you, it's still a significant enough margin that you should not really care about that, and you shouldn't be too greedy in these times. So anyways, guys, this was the video I had for you. I really wanted to give you an update as far as the Bitcoin dominance. This is one of the most important factors for many people, specifically for people that are looking to make a big return on their altcoin investments. Not only that, but it's important to see kind of how Bitcoin is reacting with the rest of the market. But yeah, so this is really awesome stuff. If you found this video helpful, do myself a favor and leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates. I already told you guys to join my Discord. Definitely jump in there if you want to see some more awesome analysis like this moving forward. Great things are headed for us, and I'm super, super excited to see what's about to come with crypto. I am expecting a very major alt rally to follow once we do meet major resistance, and that's going to be very, very exciting times for cryptocurrency moving forward. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.